Hi everyone, I've been a bit busy lately, but I've got my first Series 9 VGC commentary video ready. This is using the team I managed to score 1662 with in the Players' Cup 3 qualifiers back in Series 7. Dragonite's my favorite Pokemon, so I wanted to build around it as best as I could. Weakness Policy was really tempting, but I actually decided to go with a bulky Adamant build using Life Orb. When that maxes, it can use its coverage, its base attack stat, and sometimes Helping Hand to pick up Okos on some of the most relevant Pokemon in the meta, even in their Dynamax forms. That includes Thundurus, Landorus, Zapdos, Moltres, and Spectrier. You can even get Okos on some of the bulky supports that don't usually max, like Tapu Fini, Incineroar, and Grimmsnarl, sometimes with Helping Hand there as well. And then after max is over, you can use your speed boost from Airstream along with the 2 hits from Dual Wing Beat to kill Urshifus with Focus Sash in the endgames. Despite building around Dragonite, though, Clefairy is actually the star of this team. Every max target on this team is just bulky offense, pretty much, not a bunch of speed. So the combination of Friend Guard and Follow Me lets us live, sometimes multiple more turns than we should. And Helping Hand is key to getting around Fake Out and picking up just big Okos after we tank the hit. Heatran is Dragonite's perfect partner. So for defense, you have Fire Steel that's 4 times weak to ground and 4 times resistant to ice. That pairs with Dragon Flying that's 4 times weak to ice and immune to ground. On offense, Heatran covers a lot of Pokemon that hard wall Dragonite. That includes like Steel types like Celesteela, Kartana, and Ferrothorn. With Helping Hand support, we can pick up Okos on really bulky targets like Dynamax Metagross, and we can do big spread damage against passive leads with Heat Wave. Rotom Wash rounds out our major Dynamax targets. Clefairy and Citrus Berry let it set up a Nasty Plot really easily. And after that, you can just pick up really big KOs even with neutral coverage. Helping Hand and Nasty Plot combined will let you kill Dusclops and even Max Metagross. Rillaboom just rounds out our Fire, Water, Grass core, and it's mostly here for endgame, although it's still a pretty solid max target if you need to. Fake Out and Miracle Seed Glide can close out games, and Protect just adds flexibility in those endgame scenarios as well, especially because people just don't expect it on Boom. Also, Lapras is kind of an annoying matchup for this team, so we're spec'd to outspeed all modest Lapras, live a Life Orb Resonance while we're maxed, and then Oko with a Drum Solo as long as we're on terrain. And then finally, we have our Sashed Urshifu Single Strike. We pair it next to Miracle Seed Boom in the late game as often as we can because the combination of Fake Out, Unseen Fist, and 2 priority attacks like one on either Mon with good coverage that handles each other's weaknesses, it's just my favorite kind of endgame to play. And if you pair it with Clef, that's pretty much our main answer to Regigigas Weezing teams since that one carries coverage for our main sweepers. That's the team. Let's jump into a few games and try to show off all the different modes. Okay, our opponent is Shino. Let's take a look here. Trick Room and Rain is really interesting. So what we do have to watch out for here is Amoonguss. Honestly, not super keen on that because I don't see any other Mons here who would want to use a Focus Sash, so I suspect that the Amoonguss is also sashed. So what is the play here? We could go for a Rillaboom Urshifu lead here. That would allow us to Fake Out and Wicked Blow. What I actually like, we can do Clef Rotom, and if they lead Amoonguss, we can just do Follow Me and then set up the electric terrain. We'll bring Heatran in the back to handle that Escavalier with its 4 times fire weakness. And then the question is what we want between Urshifu and Rillaboom for cleanup. And I like Rillaboom for its Spore immunity, knockoff for Dusclops. It won't fare well into either of the 2 bugs they're bringing, but we're going to have to play around that. Alright, Grim and Escav. So what I would predict here is a Steel Spike into Clefairy. We do have to worry a little bit about about Taunt into Rotom, because what I'd really like to do here is get up a nasty plot, but I have to choose between sacrificing Clef and risking that Taunt. So we're going to take a risky move here, protect Clef, and go for a nasty plot. Alright, and they max turn 1, so that's not the worst thing in the world. The alternative was to just sack Clef, because then we can get in our Heatran for free. So, moment of truth here, does that Grimmsnarl have Taunt? No, just Light Screen. Okay, so that's great. I like that a lot. We've got our +2, that's a great start. And they just go through Steel Spike like we predicted. So the problem here is that most Escavaliers like to run Assault Vest, and what's worse, they also they have Light Screen up. So those two combined effectively just neutralize Rotom's +2. So I think we actually need to get another nasty plot up to be doing any real damage with it. I can either swap Clefairy or follow me to sack it for a free switch into Heatran. I kind of like the switch though, because Heatran's going to take 4 times reduced damage from that Steel Spike. So let's do that, and then let's greed up with Nasty Plot again. Now they could read this by going for a big attack into Rotom, but nope, just going for their second screen. Let's we're gonna get our second Nasty Plot up, and then we'll see exactly what they do with their Escavalier. Even though Heatran's very slow, we should still outspeed it with we should still outspeed Escavalier since it's Trick Room Mon traditionally. And there we are. Okay, awesome. So we got that prediction down. So now the question is who to max. And whether that Escavalier hasn't lost any HP from its attack, so it's not Life Orb. It could either be the Fire Resist Berry, or it could be AV. I'm hoping it's AV. What I think I'm gonna do is max Flare into it. No, we're gonna go for Heat Wave and this +4 Geyser that we've got. Oh god, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I'm going to mess up my own attack with the Rain, but it actually works out because they want to do the same thing with Politoed anyway. So a little bit of a mistake on my part, but it worked out in our favor. We're gonna have a +4 in the Rain Rotom Max Geyser here, and they still have Light Screen up, and they might have AV, but it's still going to be a huge amount of damage. Not as much as I'd hoped, honestly. That Light Screen is doing work for them. So we have our berry. We're going to see how whether we actually take this or not. Escavalier still has a very high attack stat, and yeah, no, without being maxed, without Frame Guard, Heatran doesn't take that. But I think it's okay still. The question is who to bring in now. I think the answer is going to be Rillaboom. We pressure Politoed easily here, and Rotom can just put another Geyser into Escavalier. I imagine Politoed will protect or will switch, but it really doesn't matter. The question becomes whether, like, what would they swap Politoed into to resist a Grassy Glide? I would imagine it would be Amoonguss, but Amoonguss would resist both of Rotom's attacks anyway, so I think we just go for this anyway. Grassy Glide into Politoed, and Geyser into Escavalier. We don't want to use Max Lightning if we can help it, because that would override our own terrain. And after this, we should have one more turn in Max with Rotom, so whatever comes out should take a big hit. Now, a lot of Politoads are spec'd to survive a Rillaboom Glide, but we do have Miracle Seed also, so they'd have to be remarkably defensive for that to actually happen here. But they do have Dusclops. Okay, what I'm going to do then is go for the knockoff instead. Politoed doesn't really threaten us. The worst they could do is like Perish Song, and we will most likely have the numbers advantage after this. So knockoff plus Geyser in the rain at +4. Even with Light Screen up, we should score this KO on Clops. We don't want Trick Room going up at this point. And they go for the double. Okay, silly, but we'll absolutely take it. Big +4 Geyser from Rotom. Dead. Awesome. Okay. So now it's 3-2. We don't have to fear any Perish shenanigans from Politoed. And it's just Grimmsnarl in the back anyway. Seeing a pause, is that a rage quit? There it is. Alright, awesome. Okay. Japanese player at rank 4000. A lot of ice and a steel type, so this is not a good Dragonite game. Seems like a fantastic Heatran game. Except for their own Heatran. And I do worry about Cresselia doing skill swap nonsense with their Heatran. Because Rotom has to fear Storm Drain from Gastrodon, right? So I think our only option here really is Heatran. So Heatran Clef is a good lead. We might consider Rillaboom Heatran instead for the fake out though. But if they lead with their own Heatran, then I'm worried about Quakes. Having Friend Guard is a huge advantage in the mirror there. I think we're definitely going to want Urshifu as a cleaner. But the question is whether it's Rotom or Rillaboom in the back. And I think we need to bring Rillaboom for that Gastrodon. But of course, all the ice types on this team do worry me with Rillaboom there, so we're going to want to do our best to clean them up before we bring them out. Alright, okay, so Hail plus, what is this one, Arc Basalt, is that it? So this could not have been a better lead for us, I don't think. They might have some kind of, they might have some kind of ground attack? I don't know. So our choices are to either Steel Spike the Ninetales, or to Quake the Arctozolt. I like the idea of Steel Spiking the Ninetales because we can protect Clefairy. And we'll set up defense boost for future turns. And they swap out the other one. Great. As long as it isn't a double switch, I'll be very happy with this one. Ooh, a Quake into that slot would have been nice, though, since they swapped in Heatran. I'll still take it, though. Now, do they go for Aurora Veil with their Ninetales, or do they go for Blizzard? Aurora Veil. Okay, so the Protect was a waste. This turn could have gone better. We talked about two options, and I chose the wrong one here, but it's still not the end of the world. We're gonna bring it down most likely to a Sash if most Ninetales run that. Yeah, alright. Not the best, not the worst. What I'd expect at this point is gonna be them maxing their Heatran. And Ninetales going for a Blizzard. If they get any freezes, that'll be unfortunate, but we're of course not worried about the Blizzard. They might Quake into my Heatran, or they might Steel Spike into Clefairy. There's no way to really read that one. They're both reasonable options on their part. So instead of going for a double or a Follow Me or whatever, we're going to Helping Hand this attack into their Heatran. And these switches have been absolutely wonderful for us. Oh, and they don't even max. Okay, did it protect is the question. It did, okay, so this is a bit of a trouble, right? Because that thing can ally switch now, or it can skill swap. And either way, that's going to be a lot of trouble for us. Cresselia is actually surprisingly fast for a Trick Room setter, so if they skill swap, then the Levitate will just make them immune to the ground attacks that they're 4 times weak to, like us. But they could also just be going for Trick Room, mind you. I didn't catch the order of the hail. I saw that I think their Heatran's slower than us, which means they might also just go for Trick Room. It's a lot of trouble here. I don't know what they're going to go for. And okay, I'm going to risk, because if they go for Trick Room, we're in big trouble. But that thing might have Moonlight. Okay, we gotta take the risk then. Protect, I guess. Ugh. So it's not, yep, there's a skill swap. We called it. Okay. Oh, they did it with me? Okay. Is that a misclick on their part? Once again, we'll take it. My opponent has made some really questionable moves here, but this is just going to kill their Heatran. They do have Friend Guard on a Cresselia, like that would be an amazing mon, but in their scenario, they had to fear the Quake. I have to assume that was a misclick. But we'll certainly take that. Because all they have left is this 1 HP Ninetales in the back. No, that's not true. They've just been so baffled by my opponent's switches that I haven't been keeping track of how many have gone down. Come on. Gotta do something. I mean, I'll take the second Rage Quit of the day. Right, of course, the Arctazal. Okay, but they gave away their free, what was I going to say? They're free Levitate. Clefairy has a Levitate now. So even if that Arctozolt has a Quake, I don't care. I'm just going to Heat Wave and follow me now. Because I do still fear Ally Switch. A little Press is scary. Although if they have Skill Swap, having Ally Switch as well seems a bit much. And they might have Earthquake instead of High Horsepower. I'd imagine High Horsepower though. Let's go for Follow Me because, oh, okay, just forfeit. They hadn't used their max yet. It's kind of surprising. They didn't need to forfeit just there. They still had Hail and they could have restarted it with a Ninetale switch in, but let's go for another battle. Okay, we found our opponent, Christopher, rank 4,000 or so. This looks like a Series 6 team. Yeah, in fact, it pretty much is. We do have to be scared of a Prankster Will-O-Wisp on the Sableye. Heatran looks like it would be really good here, but you have to remember that Charizard can have Scorching Sands. And on top of that, Heatran is kind of walled by it. Doesn't have a Rockfall. Rotom could be good. I don't hate Rotom here, but I also don't hate Dragonite. I think we can do Dragonite Clef in this game. It has positive matchups into most of the stuff here. Azumarill is kind of the only thing we have to fear. If they're Sap Sipper, then that also puts a pin in Rillaboom, but if not, then we should be fine. The question is, does Urshifu give us anything here? It would be nice in an endgame scenario. But I also like Rotom for the Thunderbolt into Azumarill. And into Charizard for that matter. So yeah, let's always have to wonder whether that nice tried and true core of Rillaboom and Urshifu in the back is the way to go. It can be a great failsafe, but often it's not actually the best two. And they're going Ninetales and Sableye, huh? Okay. Would personally like to know what they're going for. I'm almost tempted to double protect here, just to see what kind of like prankster nonsense they're going for. It could even be blind hypnosis, which I've seen a fair amount. Or we could just get big right off the bat and airstream the Sableye. They tend to be quite frail. I'd imagine that if the Ninetales has a sash, so using a big attack and do it right off the bat probably isn't a great idea. We could have been ballsy and gone for Protect with Clef, but if they had Eject button or something, that would have been really tragic. I know it was just a fake out. Okay, that double protect would have been a great play then. But the Heat Wave misses Dragonite, which is also, oh, double miss. We got very lucky with that. If they had gone for fake out Hypnosis, that could have been huge. And it turns out it's the Sableye with the sash after all. Okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. What we can do now is just airstream into the Ninetales and go for a Moonblast onto the Sableye. It might switch out. If it has Prankster Will-O-Wisp, that would be unfortunate. But the threat of Follow Me would hopefully mean that I think they go for Taunt instead. The other alternative was to Hailstorm onto Sableye, but I don't know if the lack of stab would mean that I don't kill. The +1 from Airstream is extremely helpful here, though. We take out Ninetales, and Clef is very slow. Sableye is not too speedy itself, but I don't know if +2 will let it pick up this KO. And it does. All right, great. So we're up to a quick 4-2 lead. We've taken no damage. Granted, that double Heat Wave miss was really brutal on my opponent's part. As long as it didn't burn, I don't think it really would have mattered, to be honest. But now at +2, even if they bring out Charizard, which, yeah, here it is, I'm not particularly worried about it. With Friend Guard and Dragonite's resistance to Charizard's attacks, I'm actually not really worried about Dragonite taking too much damage. So what I'd like to do instead is just kill off Azumarill, because the other thing is that this is my last turn in Max, so a good move on their part might be to just Max Guard with Charizard to try to stall us out. So what we can do here is protect Clef and Airstream into the Azumarill. I don't know what its bulk is like, but I imagine not amazing. So if we can get ourselves into a 4-1 position, that'll be great. And they max the Azumarill. I really didn't expect that. I guess Heat Waves could be big. Question is whether they're going to max guard this. I really thought I'd had the read there. But yeah, that means they're going to be throwing out Solar Power Heat Waves, which is not a bad idea, honestly. Okay, the Airstream does good damage. Now this could be a Starfall from Azumarill though. Hurricane, that was ill-advised, I think, because they're at 50% accuracy in the sun with Hurricane. This will hurt and it'll kill. Wow, huge power is strong. There is absolutely no denying. Oh, it was a crit. Okay, okay. I don't know if that would have killed without that crit, honestly. Through Friend Guard, through Dragonite's it's bulky and I have a bulky spread, but that's fine. Let's see what we can do here. I'm worried about bringing in Rillaboom as a thing, because that... Oh man, and now I really do wish I brought Urshifu instead of Rotom, or instead of Rillaboom. Huh. Who to bring in is the question. Because a Heat Wave from Charizard will absolutely just murder Rillaboom. I think it has to be Rotom at this point. Okay, so now the question is whether we should outspeed Azumarill. It tends to be a Trick Room mon. But the question is whether we need to Helping Hand or not to take out this Azumarill. And I don't have a whole lot of time to calc this. I think we do need it. So what we're going to do is go for a Thunderbolt into it, and go for the Helping Hand. As long as Charizard can't kill Rotom, because it is faster, of course, we should be good here. This will definitely hurt a lot. Oh no, that's not enough. Oh boy, that is really not great. Somehow we lost this game despite our amazing start. It's not quite over yet, but it's not looking great. So here's the thing: is that Clef does have those speed boosts, right? And Azumarill is quite slow. So I think our play here is actually going to be to fake out Charizard and hope to God that Clefairy is faster than Azumarill here. And that the Moonblast is enough, because Zoomerl, I'm looking it up, has 80 base special defense. And we are faster. Does this kill? It does. Oh, that was the play. So now Charizard will not be getting grassy terrain recovery. So what we can do is go for a Helping Hand Glide and hope, pray, that's enough. He's at 50%. It is 4 times resisted is the problem, but he's less than 50%, and we have Miracle Seed, so this is another case where we just have to pray that it's enough damage. Because even without the sun, I strongly suspect Charizard could kill us. Probably only with Air Slash is the thing. Heat Wave is going to be distributed, and we have Friend Guard, so it might be enough. We might be able to live that. We're going to find out. And just enough. Oh. Okay, I think Rillaboom's going to just about take it home here. And they can protect, but we sent out Rillaboom not that long ago, so the terrain should be around for a while. Let's check on the number of turns after this to see how many turns they have. If they do manage to stall it out, they win. There's 2 more turns, so they'll have to get a triple protect in order to win this game, which, you know, I've seen it before, actually, so it's the right play to go for, but they don't even try, so that's that. Good game to my opponent. They had a really rough lead. They probably shouldn't have led so passively, to be honest. Like, Ninetales or Sableye really should have led alongside Charizard, but that crit from the Zoomerl really brought them back into it. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll be shooting to make one of these at least once a week going forward. Rental code's in the description as always, as well as the beginning of the video, and I'll be linking the team report I wrote for the Pokesports website for this back in Series 7, so you should definitely check them out too. I'm working on some changes for this team, and I might do a follow-up video later in the series, but bye for now.